Hey guys, welcome back to Android Central Live at SDC13. We're bringing you all kinds of great interviews and talking to amazing people. We have Tarvo here with Fortumos, and payments is a huge industry right now, and especially in developing markets. What exactly do you guys do in the mobile payment space?
So what we do is we have connected with over 300 different carriers around the world and do the billing through the carriers. So actually the majority of people around the world, there are over 5 billion people who have mobile phones, but most of them don't have credit cards.
Right, exactly, so that can be tough.
So they can't make the payments with their credit cards, but then the carrier billing helps. And the carriers are also really interested in that because they want to take a part in the app ecosystem.
Right, so this is enabling not only person-to-person transfers, right, but then you also have, paying for things at restaurants or shops, right?
So main thing what we work are the digital goods that you can purchase on your mobile phone. So a lot of good examples are, for example, music, video streaming, and also games. So for example, Angry Birds, we work with them in a lot of different countries, and you can purchase the Mighty Eagle, for example.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and so that's really interesting because we all think of it, in many major Western countries, we think of, oh, you just go to Google Play or you go to the App Store or something and you just plug in your credit card and it's there. But if somebody doesn't have access to that, then there's no real system in place. There's gift cards in some countries, but you can't easily turn cash into digital goods. So what kind of traction are you guys seeing?
Conversion is really bad with those kinds of cards.
Right.
But with the carrier billing, the conversion is really good because you don't have to leave your phone and actually don't even have to insert any information because all the information is already on the phone there, and the carrier knows if it can be billed to your bill or not.
Oh, okay, sure.
So basically it's a one-click payment.
So that could really bring down, almost all barriers to people making purchases. Do the carriers see huge upticks in the amount of digital content people are buying?
Yes, so it's raising a lot all around the world. And currently with our developers, we already see that they are earning most of their revenues with the carrier billing in emerging markets like Brazil, for example, Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, Russia. We have developers in Russia who have mentioned that over 90% of their revenues come from carrier billing.
Well, that's actually really surprising. We don't always think of carrier billing for additional services, but it can make a lot of sense for people, even if they did have access to a credit card, right? Because they just have one bill at the end of the month. Everything gets billed into the carrier and then they get to handle it. And of course, like you said, the carriers love it because they get their cut as well.
Exactly, the carriers really love it. And the other thing is the banking system in a lot of the emerging markets is not so good.
Right.
And also the fraud rates are really high. So for example, even in Russia, if you have a credit card, you don't really want to put this information into your mobile phone because people don't trust that. And so doing it with their carrier billing, it's much more convenient.
Okay, so that's another interesting area is, just the privacy side. You don't have to give out your card, if you had one, even to everybody. And, obviously, if you're paying your carrier already, you must trust them with your payment information. So you said you're seeing the biggest upticks in places like Southeast Asia, and
Exactly.
What kind of adoption rates are you seeing? Like a carrier implements it, do they see thousands and thousands of people, overnight, or are people a little reticent about it?
So it grows pretty quickly. So thousands and thousands of people every day are making the payment, and it's growing really fast. And the game developers really like. Actually, we have a pretty big program for the app developers in general.
Okay.
One was just launched in China Expand, where we help those developers in China to get into all the other Asian markets.
Right.
And we also help the developers here in US, for example, and help to get their apps into the app stores in emerging markets.
Right, that makes a lot of sense because, the app stores might not be available everywhere, and they may not see, they can't go with the regular model into these markets if they didn't have a payment system, right? So you guys are also kind of courting developers saying, we can help you make money in these other markets.
Exactly, so we work with over 30 different alternative app stores. We work with mobile operators all around the world who have their own app stores, so we can get the apps over there. We just launched a project with the Kyivstar in Ukraine. So they have a special app store, and they're promoting all the apps that are working with us or already have our payments integrated.
Great, and then that means it just circulates back, and then the developers have more money. They bring out new apps, and then the people get more interested. And I think that we've all seen, as soon as people kind of realize the value in having in-app purchases from the consumer side, they say, I can try apps for free, I can you know, buy, like you said, you could buy the Eagle or
Mighty Eagle, yeah.
exactly, and Angry Birds. Then they, you know, then they get hooked, and once you bring down that barrier of entry, I think everybody benefits. I'm sure you've seen that as well.
Yeah, things are going really good.
Well, that's great. We appreciate you talking to us. That's not really something that we get out in the Western markets very often. So
exactly.
We really appreciate you coming.
If there are developers around that have a lot of users in the emerging markets, which usually happens because the apps are popular everywhere.
Right. Fortuma.
Exactly. Thank you very
much.
much.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys, and we'll be coming back to you with more coverage here, Android Central Live at SDC13. That's great. You know, we don't see that at all.